And I want to move to that to again, I guess you could call it funny kind of thing. It's hard to, when you have an odd sense of humor, it's hard to say something is funny because other people will look at you and say, "What do you mean that's funny?" But there you have a great story um, where a partner has gone to Milan and her partner is taking care of her daughter, and her daughter happens to have her period for the first time, and the partner that's there taking care is trying to deal with it because the girl is the teenager is freaking out and everything. And I liked how logical it is in a certain way. In a certain way, that's a very, I don't know, common situation, but it's something I've seen in film. It's something I've read in books before, where what do you do? There's a scramble kind of thing. But here's here's the exchange, and my reaction here was because the person who's taking care of the girl doesn't give all the information, or because that person is in a scramble too. When the girl hears it, when the teenager hears it, she goes, anyway, I'll just read it. So the partner of the person who's in the lawn says, the bleeding will stop in a few days. And the girl says, a few days? I'll be dead by then. And I thought that was perfect because, of course, yes, it will stop in a few days. But if you can just imagine someone who doesn't know anything about the process and you tell them they're going to be bleeding for 4 days, they're just imagining the worst. So at the same time that the person is trying to reassure the girl accidentally, because the words are not carefully chosen, it's freaked her out and she thinks she's going to die, kind of thing. It was extremely, extremely well done in two lines of dialogue, kind of thing. So.
Well, thanks. Yeah, just imagine what a 12 or 13-year-old girl, if she had lived on a desert island on her own for as long as she could remember, what she gonna think, when she first gets her period. It's bizarre and freaky, and a lot of it is. I had a lot of fun with this story because I think about what a terrible parent I would be. It's just, there's so much to negotiate and to handle to dealing with someone who's growing up, and just things like trying to give counsel to some young person when you have no clue. Like I often think about what I would tell my kid if they were confronted by a bully at school, and I don't even know what the official consensus party line politically correct thing to do is, but you could tell them to ignore the bullying, and it'll eventually stop, or you could tell them to punch them in the face as hard as you can, and these are both viable solutions, and I can't say which one would be more effective, but I think it kind of explains why it's a very good thing that I'm not a parent.
I'm not a parent either, but I've talked to a lot of people who are parents. I have two brothers who are married, and I've talked to, I used to have a lot of workmates who were married as well and had kids. And the one thing I heard is that this is way overstating it, but no one knows what they're doing. It's not as if you become a parent and suddenly the guidebook is infused into you and you know what you're doing. So it's like everything else in life. No one knows what they're doing, really, right?
Yes, that is one part of it that's somewhat terrifying. The really terrifying part is that this young person might listen to what you're saying and accept it as truth and act on it. And maybe you told them a very bad thing to do, and maybe you told them to go about it the wrong way. But that's the other side of it.